few months together, I've really enjoyed talking about, creating a culture with you guys. And that lights me up, and it's really important. But the next level of that is the work. Like, the reason we want to create a really good culture is to play really good football. And so it's cool as hell to see the belief in one another, the trust in the guys have one another, but that's why we're here, putting that work together so we can build what we want to on the field. And so I'm really pumped to be here in Jersey and getting started with this process together. But I thought as I was driving over, I wanted to give you some explanation behind why the culture is so important, because that leads to playing really well. And so now we get to go. And I'd just like to give one quick shout out to the Morristown Little League. They're playing tomorrow night for the right to go compete at Williamsport. So we're pulling for a lot of those guys who are from this area. So really cool stuff. So all that said, let's get it rocking.
Yeah, obviously you're going to be focusing on a lot of guys today. Jake, that was obviously very key to here. What is it you want to see from a rookie quarterback in their first time setting those games?
Yeah, I think really an extension of what we've seen, John. We want to see the decision-making processes, new team, new coverages, but our same system to way to go. So just executing of the system to go, different matchups, where to find it, but more than anything, just the decision-making process, because I think we've all seen, Jaden and his throwing ability. So days like today in the game and into next week, this is like an important part of his steps, and that's why I'm really excited to see him here today.
How have you seen him in those areas? What kind of leaps has he taken throughout camp?
Yeah, that's the part I've probably been most impressed on, not just throwing the football, but playing the position. Checking a protection, getting into a different play, deep one to Terry, covered, throwing the check down to Austin on an underneath. So like those decisions, are the ones that I'm looking for again.
Does the weather influence anything you try to do or not do?
I don't think it's going to be too bad, and the fields here drain well. So unless it got, just coming down, it would. But if it's, it kind of stays, and it maybe a little bit here and there, but nothing that we're changing at the moment.
And given some of the fights that have gone on as previous joint practices and crossings around the lake, do you say anything to the guys?
Yeah, I think you want to, because as we're going here, like our objective here is come get the work and work the skills to go do that. And the NFL has a brotherhood too, team to team. So my message to the guys was, there's just one big team out here practicing, as opposed to, us, them, just protect the team, do the same exact, practice habits we would do, back if we were back in Ashburn. We just do the same things here. And I talked to Robert, and they're kind of the same mindset. So all we're looking to do is just come and compete and battle and enjoy it. But at the end of it, like, think of it like one big crew together, practicing really hard and, trying to find the edges, but not looking for anything past that.
How do you build the schedule of joint practice, and were there certain periods that you wanted to emphasize?
So you'll see today some like a 7-on-7. That's all man-to-man. So we talked about that to find some matchups and see some things. You're going to see 2 special teams periods that feature kickoff cover on one side and kickoff return. Then you kind of split. We like to work a little bit down in the red zone. You're going to see at the end some 2 minutes. So we gave some structures and some guidelines. So Robert and I, kind of got with the coordinators and ourselves to make sure we could really emphasize some things in the practice.
And other than Jaden, when you go back and watch the film on this practice later, what are the specific areas that you'll be paying close attention to that you're curious about coming into this?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for a coach, because you'll get a lot of film at it today. There's both sides. There's 2 fields going, special teams, back and forth. So I really want to see like a couple of things. One, I'd love to see the speed, of our team just over and over again. On both sides of the ball, our mindset to take care of it and go after it. And then I want to hear real, communication on the field. So those are a couple of things that's on my mind that I'm looking for: the effort and speed, the ball on both sides, and then the last piece is the communication, the line of scrimmage, pre-snap, post-snap. So those 3 things are like top of the pile for me.
A couple of assignments on the offensive line. Kind of what's the status of Coleman you saw not practice the other day, Wiley continuing, and Cosby?
Yeah, so we did sign 2 other guys, one interior guy and one tackle. And so normal training camp, stuff that you want to just make sure nobody's getting overloaded as we're going to go. So that'll be important today. You'll see Sam back in it some today, so it's good, and we'll ramp back up. And I say It'll be fluid over the next few weeks. Some positions, when you're going hard and competing at training camp, that happens. Fortunately for us, there's nothing that's long-term, but it is some modifications you do have to make week to week. And so for guys like Armani and JC, pretty cool opportunity for them too, to see what they can do. And all of it's an evaluation.
And then you grew up right down the road. We're talking about Morristown Little League. What's it mean for you now when you're second as opposed to be kind of in your hometown running the show?
Yeah, it's fun to be here because like growing up around here, like this is where my love of football began, in this area. And so growing up here, going to high school and stuff here. So yeah, it's fun. Get to see, some family at practice, but yeah, it's a cool thing.
You and the coaching staff getting ready yourselves for what you have to do. To jump ahead to the preseason, will Cliff and Joe, are they going to be up in the group press coordinators or are they going to have a field?
One up, one down. You have to find out. No, I'm just kidding. Joe will be in the press box and Cliff will be on the field.
Not necessarily from a coaching standpoint, but just as a person in this league, do you have any level of curiosity to see Aaron Rodgers where he is, whatever extent you'll see him in this weather, and what does it mean to this league and to the Jets for him to do that?
Well, I think I've competed against him a lot, and he's got like remarkable skill. He can throw a football like most people throw a baseball. That type of quickness on a release where there's very little wind up, and I think it's also cool for our other quarterbacks to see him, how he conducts himself, how it goes. So there's a lot that you can gain, in days like today and into the game just to see other people work. So yeah, he's a fantastic player and a rare competitor. So yeah, anytime you can get a chance to do that, I think it's a really big deal.
Rookies been through this in college. It's their first road trip. We're at a different level now. Is there anything you tell them as they get ready for this? The procedures of where you got to be in a hotel in the month?
Yeah, we had a lot to go. More so, Chick, for the game than for practice. And so some of the information I'll hold till tomorrow into my meeting with them. Today, I wanted just to emphasize on practice. I didn't even want them thinking about the game yet. I just wanted, man, to throw a hell of a practice. That said, tomorrow, Chick, that'll be a time that we'll get into that. They've been waiting their whole lives to, play in the NFL. And my message to them will be like, you've already been doing it every day in practice. You're playing against, some world-class people trying to, block, John Allen, Deron Payne, and Bobby Wagner. Like, that's as hard as it gets. So they're already doing that. And so that process of getting ready to play and getting ready to go run and hit and play and compete, that's what I'll do. They'll all be tight on the opening day. I'll probably have some of the veterans talk about their first preseason game. Most everybody has a memory of that. And but by and large, today was just about the practice, and then I'll leave the game, and I'll discuss that some tomorrow and getting ready to play.
Pass rush is obviously super important. How are you able to evaluate that boost without being able to touch the quarterback?
We're going to have a session for O-line, D-line with some one-on-ones when the 7-on-7 goes. So, but you're right. It's the hardest part of our game of finding, when to be physical, but how to stay away, because you got to stay off the ground, away from the QBs. But we will have one session at their offensive line against our D-line and vice versa. So we'll get some looks at that. We'll get some more, obviously, in the game, which helps. But, yeah, it's just a continual process of training and training and training for it.
With some attrition along your line, potential for weather on Saturday with the game day, does that give you any pause or make you reevaluate playing Jaden or how you use Jaden in that?
I think if it was something that I was concerned about, or whether we would definitely take that into consideration for him and for all the guys. But as we're heading into it, this is part of ball too, and so I think there'll be spots that it'll rain a little harder and some less. So it all matters, and all of these count. Like we're gonna have a game in the rain this year. It's gonna happen, and so it's much better to go through those experiences now. Do we take care of the ball? Have mindfulness for it. So if it was ever for he or any of the guys that it wasn't safe, Robert and I, we would just call it and, hey, man, let's wait it out, come back. So, we were prepared to do that if we ever need to.
Obviously, this isn't a game planning situation, but how much do you teach the guys, especially the young guys, like who they're about to go up against, so they prepare, or is it just instinct to do what they have to worry about?
Yeah, just do what they have to. Yeah, no game planning, no matchups of that kind of stuff. Coaches may, just without the players knowing, okay, you're up, and okay, let's see what happens. But they would not know that, and I didn't want them to go in. That's not what this time is about. It's really about training your skills, your techniques, And so, yeah, no game planning of that way. Right? You will, yep. Some who will play more in the game will play a little less here. Some who will play more, some who will play less in the game will play a little bit more here. So I got time for 2 more if they need 2 more, Sean.
Coach, considering your history more south in New Jersey and having this in the area, does this make it special? Is there anything important about coming back to this area for you?
Well, there's good pizza. We know that for sure. So that should definitely happen. I would encourage anybody who's out of town to try that as well. But no, it's just, honestly, man, it's really cool to get the team up here and get rocking. It's a good team. We're looking forward to it. But anytime I get to come back to this area for football through the years, it always brings a cool spot, you know, playing at MetLife. This is where I grew up, you know, fell in love with football and all that goes with it. So whether it's, you know, usually it's there, but even being a little closer to home here, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so Robert and I go all the way back to our Seattle days, and we had a lot of mutual friends before then. So it's been cool to watch his trajectory. And even when you leave a staff with some people, there's lots that you keep up with through the years. And so there's a number of people here on this staff that I'm close with. So Robert and Jeff Olbrick and Keith Carter are all ones that I've spent some time with. And so I'm very much looking forward to seeing them as well. Brick's like a brother to me. So I look forward to, you know, talking a little shit with him on the field as we should today. So.
The kickoff, obviously, you said that's going to be part of the day, but how excited for you to see that because you obviously haven't been to see anything.
Yeah, and it'll be this one and the game, I think, will help because we want to see different looks, who can play, space blocks. So maybe add a little wet ball to it, you know, adds a little more flavor. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see the whole thing. All right, thanks, everybody. All right, you guys have a good one. Stay dry.